Women's Staff Network group for just over a year and a half now, since September 2016. And I got involved primarily because there is still a lot to do in the agenda for gender equality within TfL. We only have 23% women at the moment currently. And I still remember my very first day at Transport for London, coming in as a fresh graduate 4 years ago now. And I just remember a sea of grey suits when I arrived. And I thought, for the first time in my career, although be it very early in my career, something doesn't feel right. You know, there was a huddle of women in the corner and hundreds of men on the side doing our induction, welcoming us to this amazing organisation. And it just felt wrong. And for the first time, I realised I could really physically see that we just don't have the gender representation that we really need at TfL. And so on day one, I did a bit of research and found out about the existing Women's Staff Network group. And from there on in, I was hooked. So I joined the committee, very active for a few years. I was the communications chair for a while before becoming peer-elected as chair of the group. And since then, it's been an absolute whirlwind, I guess. So yeah, there's been so much going on, and it's been amazing to see the Women's Staff Network group and all the staff network groups grow and to really be supported by particularly the senior management at TfL over the last few years in particular.
I was very fortunate that I have had some really good people around me throughout my service that invested time in me, helped me at times through when I was younger in age, younger in service, when I maybe didn't have the maturity at times. They helped me develop, and they gave that sort of parental kind of guidance in the best sense, you know, to coach and mentor people through. So I've been very lucky that I've come across those people. So I've been the chair for 12 months. So about 12 months ago, I had a bit of a calling that I needed to give back some of what people had invested in me. So this is over and above your normal day job that you do. And I think personally it's very important to give back to, you know, the young people coming through. You know, some of the stuff within the police service, I didn't have visible role models to aspire to. You know, there were, you know, 20 years ago there was even less of us than where we are now. And the things that I missed is what I'm trying to put in place now. And I think it's very important that we engage with our youngsters as they're coming through.
I am a person of faith in Transport for London, and in the various buildings I've worked in, I've always been part of the Christian Fellowship. So our buildings in Westminster and Southwark, Victoria, I've always been part of the Christian group, fellowship group, but I've never engaged with other faiths, and I know there are other faiths, and it was something I felt that I needed to understand a little bit more about how the other faiths feel in Transport for London, and if there was anything that they needed support in. And so that was one of the drivers. So I wanted to help people, you know, of faith, if you like, within the workplace. And it was a revelation to me that the protected characteristics, one of them is religion and faith. And generally people have got an opportunity, you're allowed to do, to practice your faith, within limits of course, within the workplace, to make sure that you are a whole person within the workplace. And that was something I was interested in.
I am the chair of the Staff Disability and Long-Term Conditions Network. I got involved in that because myself, I was diagnosed a few years ago with a bipolar disorder, and it struck me that a lot of people aren't aware of anything mental health related. In addition to that, I think there's a lot of stigma around disability. In the last sort of 5 years in the United Kingdom, we've seen a huge increase in hate crime towards disabled people, and there can, to some extent, I think, be a backlash against people with disability as benefits claimants, lazy, and I think that stigma's just incredibly unreasonable, unfair and frankly wrong. And I approached the organisation about trying to do something around empowering staff and raising our profile around disability. And as luck would have it, we were already in that process of setting it up. So I applied to become chair and I was elected not long back, about six weeks ago. So yeah, that's kind of where I am at the moment and where we are.
So I got involved essentially because I have a daughter, I have younger family members, and I don't think that they should have to go through what I've been through in order to get to where I am in my career, in the same way that my mum's had to go through certain things, my grandmother had to go through certain things, and we're an NHS family, and they've all worked in the NHS, so I just wanted to be part of that pinnacle change.
It's important to me to run a staff network group and to support the staff, because I know what it was like when I first arrived. So originally I studied law at Liverpool Law School and University of Liverpool, and I moved down in 2008, and I thought, oh my God, I've moved to the city. And I was like, oh, I felt completely out of my depth, and I started in the company, and it was about 3 months before I started to open up. And I started censoring myself, and I didn't realise it, but I was holding back. I would sort of, instead of talking about boyfriend, people would ask me what did I do at the weekend, and I'd be censoring, going, oh, I went out with friends, so completely taking them out, or I went with my partner, and then when people started asking questions about partner, I'd say, oh, is that the time I need to go and do something? And I wanted people to be authentic, because I realised that suddenly I was holding myself back, and actually I think it created that level of a disconnect between me and my fellow colleagues, because they thought, what's he holding back? There's some secret there. And I thought that I need to get it out in the open and empower people to actually go, you know what, you can be visible, you can be out, and it's not going to impair your career development. And that's something that I've wanted to sort of embed across the thing. And I have a good network of people, so it's sort of like, look at me, I work in the MD's office, I've got connections all over the business, and I see myself as a means to be able to pass on the messages from the top to people at the lower end of the chain who may feel completely far removed.
I suffered in 2015 with depression and anxiety, and didn't have really anywhere to turn at that time. And then I've known Anna for quite a while, working through West Yorkshire Police, and the Disabled Association started to rise from an unknown association to excel in itself. And I thought, I wondered if the association could help me, and it did immensely. I joined up as a member of the Disabled Association, and the signposting, the advice, just the one-to-one really helped me, and I couldn't find that anywhere else. So I thought, well, if that's helped me, why can't I help other people? And I was quite lucky in June of this year to become an executive member of the association, and still am to this day. It's just a passion now. I want to help other people that were in a similar or the same situation that I was in with nowhere else to turn.